Hi, welcome. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to make cool queries in MongoDB from beginners to advanced using simple and complex queries. Okay, let's get started. I just created a folder here called mongo and node and then created a file in there called server. For this to work, let's install our dependencies. We'll be using Express, nodemon and MongoDB. And then press Ctrl tilde for us to get the terminal, or you can come here, terminal, and then new terminal. So let's install these our dependencies and npm install, or you can use just express nodemon to restart our server once we save MongoDB and hit enter. Let's wait for our dependencies to install. I'll be pausing this video while it's installing on the background. Great, here we go. The dependency has done installation. Let's get started. Express. Let's require Express. Mongo MongoDB we load Express here .client .mongo client. There we go. So mongo.connect. Let's try to connect to a Mongo. It required a string here. As you are seeing, it is a string here. So let's provide our URL for the connection. MongoDB. We are hosting this on a local host on port 27 017 27 017. Okay, if this thing connected, it will respond to the callback to respond to us a callback. Let's give an arrow function here. If it is an error, or the result say db, or let's say db. Cool. We'll say if there is any error, let's throw error, else. We'll be using Docker to run our MongoDB database. So you type the following command. I'm on Ubuntu, so Linux, therefore I have to type this sudo. So just if you are on Windows, just type docker run -d and the port number, it is 27017, and also should be marked to 27017. I'll be explaining this code in a second. Name, let's give it MongoDB and Mongo. What is happening here? This is for me to have an administrative right to run Dockers and run. This makes for us to run MongoDB in a detached mode, where that is simple from run in the background. And here is the port number. This port number within the container should be mapped to the host port number, which is this one, and the name of the container will be called MongoDB, and this is the image. And oh, correct, we see now our Docker ID, container ID is here. It's now running correct. So if we want to know that our container is running correctly, you type sudo docker execute. I will explain this code in a second. MongoDB is the name of our, look at it here, is the name of our container. So bash bash. So if everything goes correctly, you can get this bash terminal here. So if I type here mongo, you can see that give me this little arrow here, so that I can do a lot what I want, like show DBs. I can see the database in my Mongo. So what this code is doing here, give me the administrative right to run Docker, execute. That means you want to execute a command within the container running interactive mode. We need an interactive mode of the bash, and this is the name of the container we want to run. So therefore this is the databases that are in my mongodb. These are my databases. So you can also use this terminal to do everything that you want. You can create here a database, delete database, quite a lot. You can do a lot here, but we want to use it. We want to make our query using Node.js. So let's cancel this one. Say cancel, and you want to get out of here, hit exit. There we go. Then want to close this one. Okay, we now in MongoDB here. So if we save this and then npm stats, let's go first and configure the package.json file here. Keyword. We can come here to our package.json. We can see that look at our dependencies: nodemon, mongodb, express. So we want to use nodemon to be running this file. So nodemon server.js. So let's start our service now. Just npm start. The moment you hit npm start, this is the script that is going to run. So let's first of all set up our. Now we'll be listing on. Anyway, we don't need to listen on any, because everything will be happening here. So let's start our server. So let's go. After typing all this, we'll come here. We save. Oh, we get an error. Oh, say connection only accept a callback. So what's the problem is here. Let's not call the function here. Let's call it down here. So we save now. Let's see. Nodemon clean exist, waiting for changes to be happen. Everything is working just fine, but we still have a new service discovery and monitoring ng pass option to the Mongo client constructor. So therefore, to mute this message, we need to copy this string here and then paste it here. There we go. So now if we save, everything works well, connected. Okay, we are now connected to our database. Everything works well. We have here Docker running our database. MongoDB is connected to our database. Everything works well. We are now good to go. So first of all, we need to create database. We just need to pass our database here. Let's call it mongodb dbs. So with mongodbs, if we run this, if the database exists, then it's still keep it fine. If it does not exist, Mongo, what it does is that it creates it for us. So if we save this, we will have the database created for us. So we save this, we have connected and database created. So let's collect our database here. Let's view the db equals to this db here, that will be returned to us. Then let's say db.db, we want the database that are inside there, just like use database. We are saying here use for us this database mongodbs. We are saying here, we are declaring a variable, and then we are telling the return connection here for us to create it for us. After the database being created, it to use this database mongodbs. So we are now storing that database in this variable here. So db.create. So let's give it small difference here. Let's say dbs, because it's containing all those databases for us. es6 for confliction. So dbs.create collection. What's the name of our collection? Let's call it collection or tutorial. And this one also, if everything goes correct, it will send for us a callback. Let's say error or done. Everything will be stored in the. So let's check if there is an error. If there is an error, let's throw an error or return whatever, return error. If it is not an error, let's create our objects. Let's create an array of objects. So let me say name. Let me find objects. Okay guys, I just type out this data here. Let's try now to insert it to our collections. So if you are struggling to understand what collections are, just like our relational database, which is MySQL or Microsoft SQL. So SQL tables, just think about collections as tables in relational databases, and document as the data in the table. So if you are struggling to understand what collections are, so let's go after creating here our collections. Let's try to insert our data there. So now we can say dbs.collections, the name of the collection, which is tutorial here. Let's copy this and then paste it here. Dot insert many, that would be cool. Insert many obj, then it will give us a callback function if there is an error. Otherwise it will give us response. So let's see if it's error. If there is an error, just return error. Otherwise, okay guys, also my apology here, like let's remove express and let's remove express. We are no longer using express, sorry about that. And now what we can do, also this one, dbs dot collection, the name of our collection is tutorial. We'll paste it in here. Dot insert many obj here, and also this will return a function, and this function if there is an error, and also the response if everything goes well. So let's say if an error, then if it is an error, then throw that error, else we are good to go, everything works well. So dbs dot collection dot find, let's try to find everything in our database. So find, after finding everything, so dot find, and the find function does not have a callback. So what we have to do, let's try to convert this into an array. Converting it into an array have a callback which will give us an error and the response also. If there is an error, let's try to see if there is an error, then throw the error so that we see it. Otherwise, console.table the response. Let's try to see if this one works. Let's try to save it and then call the terminal here. Let's first bring up our terminal here by control tilde. Then we'll save this. We save. Let's try to run our app. npm start. Oh, we're having cannot, when the session is ended. The problem here is that this thing is running asynchronously. The whole MongoDB is an asynchronous, it handles everything asynchronously, so therefore it's running asynchronously. So when this request is being made here, inserts, so it takes some time, so therefore it continue. It does not wait until this one finish, so it continue down here and then closes the database for us. So what we will do, let's delete this one for the time being. We delete this close and then try to resave our app. Save. Whew. Now we get our data here, index, the ID, the production name, the count, the color, the manufacturers. So we have 21, so 22 product here in our database. So let's say this one main data. First of all, console.log for us, our main data. Now if we save this, we'll get main data here. This is our main data. Let's give it some then now let's first of all we'll be starting with the queries. The find, we have already know how to insert here. You can insert one. If we will say insert one, that means it's only one document can be inserted. So insert many can insert all these documents being provided here. We inserting it as an array. You can try it just to remove this one here and say insert one here. Inserting one can only like take this whole one here and then insert it here. So this one is the result of insert 1. So if I hit save, we get our data to so what we will do here, for us to know our points, what we are doing, just after logging this one, we try to delete it again from the database. So that we'll see what we are doing. .collection.delete, deleting many, like, oh yeah, this one works. No callbacks. So if we save this one, you can take a look at now here. As you can see, insert 1 can only insert one data in our database. As you can see, insert 1 can only insert only one data in our database. And also, if you try to do insert only, as you can see here. And also we have the another one here that we call save. Save also does the same thing. So let's comment out this our data here at the moment. We're coming to the save here also does the same thing, but the difference here, let's try to say now if we provide an ID, for an example, we explicitly provide an ID like 1. We know that 1 is already in our database, like 1 here. Now let's try to insert this ID in our into our database. After being inserted, then let's try to log that inserted data here. So now if we save this, it already be inserted for us. The difference between the insert and the save here, if we manually enter the ID here, if the ID is the same, what it will do, for an example, let me type here, instead of computer I will say mouse, then I'll save this. Just look, we have gray, apple, computer. What it will do, it will just override the whole data for us here. If I save here, you can see it's just override the data, like for the production name, instead of computer now we have mouse, but all other data is being intact. If we change here Apple to Samsung, or let's say just Samsung, yeah, then it's override the whole object with that same ID. But for insert now, insert, if we provide the same ID with an existing ID, it will throw an error. It's throw an error, duplicate key, error, collection. So the difference between the insert and the save is that the insert, if you manually enter an ID that match an existing ID, definitely it will throw an error. But the save, if you manually enter an ID, it will override that existing object in the database. So note that. So now, since we have understand what the insert is, then let's go to insert many. Insert many, what insert many will do for us, it will allow us to insert an array of data. So now we have our data here. Let's uncomment this data, and now let's try to insert our data here. Let's delete the whole of this one here, and then call insert our object data here. Inserting our object data here, we don't want this thing to be duplicating, adding and adding again into our database. We are insert many, even though we've been. So let's try to add an IDs here also with the insert many. It just work the same. Let's say underscore ID is 1 for an example. Let's try to save this one. We get the data, and then if we try to, so also the insert many works the same with the insert. The insert, if there is a duplicate ID, it will throw an error. So I will do, let's try to delete this ID, and what we will do again, let's try to uncomment this, so that no sooner we add our data, then we will be wiping our data again, so that we keep on refreshing the database for anytime we will save. So therefore, if we save this now we have our data here, our clean data here. We'll find everything, and then we get our data display here. So let's now try to query, like finding this thing by just finding particular data. For an example, let's start with this one. Let it remain here so that it can show us our main data. So let's try to copy this and duplicate it. After duplication, now we want to find by, let's say, by name, where the production name, the product name is computer. It's a computer. Anywhere we need all product computers. So we'll save this. Then let's try to say this one is our search. This one is our search data. Search data here. So if we save this one and come to the console here, here we have our main data. Okay. Here we have our main data. As you can see, our search data is computer. All product name whose name is computer being displayed here. That's one way. You can also use the regular expression to do this by saying this, by typing this way. And now if we search, we can also get the same. Now let's comment out this one, so that let's comment out this one so that we have enough room to display our search data. There are 4 products which are computers here. Let's try to change some data here. We want to see all counts which are less than or equals to a value. Let's try to change this one. And now this, I give it 3. This one is 7. This one is 15. This one like 21. This one here is 2. Okay, let's leave it 25, the rest. So what we want now here, we want all the ones that are less than, all count that is less than, or equals to, that is less than 7. Let's say count at exactly equal to 7. Let's try that one first. This one is 7. So as you can see here, we only have one item that is, whose count is 7. all the ones that less than, let's say we want all the one that less than 15 or 17. Okay, we can do like this, less than 15 or 17. Now if we save this, you can see all our products that's less than, whose count is less than 17, they have been displayed here, all of them. And we can also find greater than. So greater than is just GT, less than is just LT, greater than is GT. So if we save this our data here, we can see all the ones that is greater than 17, all these values are greater than 17. Let's say all the ones that's greater than and equal to 21. So all what we have to do is to add here GTE greater than and equal to 17. We can see that all these ones is greater than 17, or let's say 21 here. We can see that 21 and all the rest is greater than. But let's try the less than LT for this time around. For that LT, all the ones that is less than or equals to 21, we have seen all those data here. And now let's see all the ones that is not equal to 21, not equal to, so that one we call it NT, that means not equal to 21. So let's save this data. As you can see, all these ones, their count is not equals to 21. You can see not equals to 23. We have 23 or 25. So therefore we get all data that is not equals to 25. So let's say we have just dealt with only one field, that if that field is greater than or equals to, less than or equals to, and not equals to. So what if now we want to look up for two field? We want to make a lookup that two field most match. So what if we want to do that? We use the AND operator. So what the AND operator does is that it compares two fields for us. Both fields should be true. So let's see how the AND operator works. So, and we type AND. The AND parameter it takes an array. Let's wipe all of this. So this is how the syntax for the AND operator. The AND, of course, always the query starts with an object, but now the AND operator, it takes an array, then it's an array wherein the first object, the first field count those, let's say count is 5, and color should be within an object. Color is red. What we are saying here, find for us all objects, all documents, find for us all documents wherein their count is 5 and color is red. No one here matches that. So if we save this, let's see, no one match, but color is black. if we save this, we can see that this one, the count is 5 and the color is black. So what about, we want to say all the ones which colors are black and at the same time their count is greater than 5. Their count is greater than 5. So if we want to do query like that, we can say their count and their count is greater than 5. This is it. The count should most greater than 5 and the color should most be black. So if we save this, we have only one wherein its count is greater than 5 and the color is black. What if we say their count is greater than 5, color is black, and is greater than or equals to 5? Yeah, 2. The count is greater than or equals to 5. And we want to say, let's say if it is less than or equals to 5. Suppose we have one result wherein it is less than or equals to 5. So what if we want to say the color can be anything? Okay, let's first see what is in there. Try now the OR operator. The OR operator. Now here the OR operator also takes an array of arguments. So we are in here now, we can say the color can equals to black, can be black, and the color can also be red. So therefore if we save this, all black, it can be black or red. So this one match. But if we want a specific, we want to say that it's less than 5 and at the same time the color should be only black and only red. Let's try to delete the whole of this. And say we can say or takes an array of arguments, or color can be red, the color can be black again. So if we save this, we have only black, red, only red. So what if now we want the data, we want product which count is less than or equals to 5, but their color is not black, neither red. So therefore what we can do here, we can just add here the n, so that can be neither black nor red. So as you can see, its count is less than 5, color is neither red nor black. So you can use all these techniques to query your data different way. So in our next tutorial, we are going to look at how to query array in depth and then add regular expression. So bye for now. Bye.